Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm focusing in on mini bags. I'm doing an updated version of my 10 mini bags ranked video. So I'm covering mostly newer styles. I have one or two older favorites in here, but most of these are a bit newer to my collection. I'm gonna go through them, review them, and basically rank them in order of favorite to least favorite in my collection. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. So coming in at number one is my Gucci Mini Diana. I think it's so cute, very classic. It is very expensive, and I have kept in mind the price in this video, so I've not been kind of blind to the price and the value. I am aware this is a really pricey one, but I think it's wonderful. Like, I really do. I love the fact that it can be worn so many ways. You have those great handles which lie flat as well as standing up by themselves. You have the longer strap as well, so you can wear this crossbody. You can wear it on the shoulder. It's adjustable too. You have feet there. Like, every single little detail they have thought of and they've put in. It feels like there was no expense spared with the design and the making of this bag. And I just think it's wonderful for that reason. Like, I really do. And when I first got it, I was a bit worried that it might be a little bit seasonal because of the bamboo handles. But actually, I've worn this during summer, I've worn it during autumn, winter. Like, I have used it every single season. And I do think it kind of blends into every outfit. I think it probably helps that I got it in the white color, but for me, this is as close to a perfect mini bag as you can get in terms of it being very functional, very practical, very elegant, very classic as well. And I just think it's wonderful for that reason. I am a bit sad that I got mine when they were still doing the neon straps, because I think my one was either orange or yellow, and at the moment they come with a deep red strap, which I would have much preferred. I've literally never used my neon strap. Like, it's just not something that I think goes with the bag, so I'm very sad I didn't get the deep red one, but I love it just the way it is, to be honest with you, and I think it's pretty great. And also it can pack a punch in terms of how much it fits. Looks like a tiny mini bag, but you can fit a decent amount inside as well. So for me, this is a 10. I just think it is the most wonderful bag. This can fit a fair amount of items. It doesn't look particularly large, but actually it can fit a decent amount. So I've packed it full without stuffing it, so the shape isn't distorted at all. There's everything that I fit inside. So I have a pair of sunglasses. I have a lipstick. I have my keys. I have the Louis Vuitton compact wallet. I have my phone, and I was also able to fit in another small card holder as well. So for me, that is a decent amount considering it is quite a mini bag. Definitely all my essentials that I'd want to carry on a daily basis. Coming in at number two is my Saint Laurent Gaby, and I think this is probably one of the newer ones in this video, and I only got this, I want to say maybe 4 months ago, but it has since become such a fast favorite of mine. I think it is truly wonderful, and it's just a great little bag. Like, if you're after this kind of style and want a really kind of petite bag, don't necessarily want a wallet on chain, but you do want something really minimal that will just go with a whole bunch of outfits, I think this is a great shout. I think it's also a really good price, considering that luxury prices are only getting more crazy. I do think this represents fairly good value for money, and I just love it. I think it looks very classic as well, even though it's a newer style. You know, you have the beautiful quilting, the YSL logo. It opens up with a very smooth zip, so there's no kind of trying to maneuver your way through it all. It's really simple on the inside. It is lined in leather though, and you can fit, you know, a decent amount of items in. It's a very petite bag, but I've taken this out so many times to date nights. I wore it to Blackpink when I went to London to see them recently, and it did just great. And it's a very lightweight, carefree bag. You know, you can just sling it on, you'll forget that you're wearing it, and I just love it. It has that dual strap combo, so you have the hardware as well as the leather strap, which is always a favorite of mine because I do think it means it's very versatile. Like, it is a little bit dressy, but can also be worn casually too. And I just like that combination. I think it makes it so much more versatile. And in general, I think this is a great little bag. Very cute, very easy to pair, very well made as well. Like, the stitching is all absolutely perfect. As I mentioned, the zip is really smooth. And I just think this is such a great little style, especially for the money. The Saint Laurent Gaby is a little bit sneaky in terms of how much it can fit inside. Like when you see it in real life, it looks like the tiniest thing in the world because it's also quite slim as well. But actually you can fit in the same amount as some of the much larger looking bags. So I have keys, lipstick, you can fit a compact wallet inside. Obviously you can also do a card holder as well if you wanted to, and my phone as well, and I didn't feel like it was too much of a stretch. So it looks super skinny and small, but actually it fits just the same as some of the much larger mini bags. Coming in at number 3 is my Louis Vuitton Alma BB, and this one I was a little bit nervous about because this was a repurchase. I had owned the Alma BB in the Damier Ebene many years ago, and I sold it on because I wasn't really getting the use out of it, and I suspected it was because of the combination, but you never really know if there is something else about the style that's kind of niggling you that you're not really fully acknowledging. So I got this because I fell in love with the color combination, but I was like, oh, am I going to remember something that I'd previously forgotten that is going to annoy me? But I'm happy to say that it's not been the case at all. I have been really enjoying this style, and it kind of feels quite fancy because it looks like a fancy bag. Like you have beautiful gold hardware. It's not an overly strong gold either. It's a really kind of light, almost champagne like gold, which is really lovely. The surface is so easy to care for. You have that leather trim, which is beautiful, but you also have the canvas, and it is just white clean. Like I have spilled a couple of items on here, and like it just looks completely like new. I just wiped it off, good to go. You have the feet on there as well. The detailing on my particular one I think is beautiful. You have all that braided detail. And then you do also have that really wide open space because it zips all the way down. You can open it up pretty wide. You do have that added bit of material there that does mean you can open it a little bit wider, and you can fit in a huge amount. One of my first videos was showing what you fit in this bag, and actually it fits a ton, but it still looks like a very mini bag. These are obviously getting more and more expensive with every single price increase, but I think this is one style that has stood the test of time. You know, it's been going for a very long time. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. It's just one of those models that you just see all the time and seems to be enduringly popular, and I've really been enjoying this iteration. So huge fan of this. It's definitely worthy of the number 3 spot for me. I've just really been enjoying it. So I have jammed it completely full. And I mean, there's a tiny bit of space up there at the top, but not much, so it is pretty full. I have in here my phone. I have a little card holder. I have a lipstick. I have a pair of sunglasses. I have my keys. And this is one of the few mini bags that I know of that can comfortably fit in a full-size long wallet. So this definitely packs a punch. That is everything I can fit inside. So it's completely empty now. Obviously, if you didn't want to fit in a full-length wallet, you could fit in a great deal more items. So for example, you could swap that out and include a bottle of water, and a bottle of water comfortably fits in as well. Next up is my Burberry Lola, and I really ummed and ahed about whether to rank this one so highly because I wanted to rank it really highly because this has been such a favorite bag for me this summer. I have worn it constantly and I just think it's the most durable thing, but I also try and think ahead to in a year's time whether I'm likely to still feel the same way about it. I know there are so many changes happening at Burberry. I don't know the fate of this bag. And you know, do I think it's a super classic bag that will be around in 10 years time? If I'm honest, probably not. So that kind of all plays into my decision making, but I still thought I should rank it or how I feel about it now, which is I just love it. I think it's so cute, so adorable. It's a really elegant little style. It is a mini bag, but I think it packs a punch for how tiny it is. I think the detailing on it is absolutely beautiful. You have the Thomas Burberry logo right there. The hardware is very substantial, so I feel like the hardware is much heavier than the actual bag itself. So that definitely can be a little bit, you can feel it when it's really warm if you're not wearing many layers and you do have a lot on your bag, but I kind of like how substantial the hardware is because it makes it feel like a really properly luxurious bag. and then it just opens up like so. And then you have that plain fabric interior right there. It's not huge by any means, but I can fit in my essentials. I do have the neck size up, but to be honest, for summer, I have just been wearing this non-stop. I think that the color combination of the pale pink with the gold is really pretty. There's nothing else to it really, like there aren't any pockets or feet or anything like that, so it is fairly simple. Over the past few months, I've just been adoring this so much. You can often get these on sale as well, so if you do like it, I would definitely wait for a discount. But yeah, I have been thrilled to bits of mine, and it's been on constant rotation for me. So I see it's absolutely chock-a-block, and I have in here my lipstick, keys, a little card holder, and then my phone. So that's all that can fit, not a huge amount, but if you're good at paring down your items, then, you know, it's everything that you'd feasibly need on a date night or something like that. Next up is the Tory Burch Eleanor, and I think this is such an underrated bag. Like, it is truly really, really lovely, and I just feel like it looks so classic and gorgeous, and it feels like incredible quality as well. Like, it really does. Like, you feel it and you're like, oh, this feels very, very substantial. It's also a dream to use as well. And I was initially concerned about the smooth leather, that I would scratch and mark really easily, but actually I haven't found that to be the case at all. I actually find it to be very seamless and just really easy to care for. You do have that huge Tory Burch logo, and to be honest, I'm not usually a fan of Tory Burch logos that are that big, but for some reason I feel like it works with the whole overall look. It opens up with a very strong magnet, and for me it's just completely seamless. Like, when you open that up, it's a really, really nice quality closure. And then on the inside you have that big wide open space, you have a zip pocket at the back, and then you do have a slimline pocket at the front there. And actually, even though I'm not usually a fan of dividers in bags because it really does limit your capacity, I actually feel like this does a job, because you do benefit from the extra dividers without really compromising on that middle space. So I kind of feel like this is the best of both worlds, and actually when you're using it, it proves to be very, very useful. So I really like that. The chain is also absolutely beautiful, and I think this is one of those styles that actually looks good every single way you wear it. There aren't too many bags out there that are like this in my view. The Gucci Diana is one of them, but this one also looks so great, you know, doubled up like that on your shoulder or handheld, but it also looks so wonderful both the crossbody and also on the shoulder too. I love it for that reason. My one negative and why it doesn't rank higher is that I think it's priced a little bit on the high side, to be honest with you. You know, Tory Burch isn't in the same league as, say, a Saint Laurent or a Valentino, and it's not priced like that at all, but it is still priced on the higher side for a Tory Burch style. It's often excluded from all discount codes and promos as well, so more often than not you will have to pay full price. And that's just a lot of money for a bag and a brand which, typically speaking, they don't have super classic bags which will hold their value in, you know, 10-20 years time, and not many brands do, but it still feels like a lot of money for a more contemporary brand. So that would be my only gripe. That said, I do think it packs a punch in terms of the quality, so I do really like it for that reason. It comes a whole bunch of different colours, and if you're a fan of the style and you like Tory Burch, then I definitely think this is one to consider, because I think it's just stunning. The Tory Burch Eleanor can actually fit a fair amount, even though there isn't really much give with the bag. You can pack quite a few items inside. Now, I would say that the front pocket there does technically fit my phone, but my phone is quite bulky because I have a phone case on and also this little kind of holder right here, and that does add quite a bit to it. So I probably wouldn't use the front slot for my phone. I could if I wanted to, but it's better off if you don't have this kind of little holder, and then I think it would actually fit really neatly. But if you wanted to, even with that, you could. And then I managed to fit in my compact wallet, a separate card holder, keys, and also a lipstick as well. And I didn't actually have anything in the zipper pocket either, so I could definitely utilize that if I wanted to, but it can fit a decent amount. Next up is the Valentino Loco bag, and to be honest, I debated whether to include this one in this video because I don't know whether it really classifies as a mini bag. For me, it's kind of in between a mid-size and a mini just because it's so long, but I felt it was a bit small for a mid-size, so I'm gonna put it in the mini bag category. and I do really like it. I think I've said this before, but I do feel like it could perhaps benefit just in terms of proportions with being a little bit smaller or less kind of wide, but I also think that the next size down is maybe a bit too small. So I feel like the sweet spot could be a little bit in between, because I do think that the length of this does somewhat limit the ways you can wear it. Technically speaking, you do have the chain, so you can wear it doubled up. You can also wear it on the shoulder lengthways, and of course crossbody too. But because it is such a long style, I do feel like it looks a little bit awkward just looped on the shoulder or crossbody, just because of how long it is. So for me, I do prefer to wear it kind of doubled up on the shoulder or with this shorter handle right here, and I do think that the proportions could be improved upon a little bit. That said, I like pretty much everything else about it. I think the overall design is gorgeous. Obviously it is very clearly Valentino, so if you don't like big logos, you will not enjoy this bag at all. The leather is beautiful quality though, and I said when I first got it that I had an issue with denting the leather, and to be honest with you, I can't even tell where that was, because the leather made an incredible recovery. So even though it was an absolute like day of panic in terms of me ruining this very expensive bag, it's actually done incredibly well, and now I can't see any dents, and it just looks good as new, even though I have used this quite a bit. So I have been thrilled with the leather durability so far, especially in this lighter color. On the inside, it has a beautiful leather lining, and I said when I first got it that it really reminded me of that new car smell. I don't feel like it's fully gone away, which is really nice, and the leather is incredibly soft on the inside, which sounds like it shouldn't matter, but when you feel it, like, it feels so nice, and it just feels like such a luxurious bag. And I'm just a huge fan of this line from Valentino, so definitely a new one. Time will tell whether it's a really classic style or not, but for the time being, I have really been enjoying it. My only little niggle is that I do wish it was just a little bit less long. And this one is also pretty full, and you can fit quite a few items in because of the length, but it isn't that tall, so that does limit you a little bit. So I have in here a pair of sunglasses. I have my compact wallet. There would be more room obviously if I swap this out for a card holder. My phone, my keys, and a lipstick as well. Next up is the Fendi Peekaboo, and my love for this bag runs really deep. I think it is so beautiful, and much like the Gucci Mini Diana, I just feel like the craftsmanship and detailing on it is stunning. Like, everywhere you look is just beautiful detail that is so well executed. My only bugbear with it and why it doesn't rank higher is the size. I knew this going into the bag, but I kind of thought it wouldn't bug me as much as it did. And to be honest, I loved it so much that I was like, oh, I'll make it work, which is a terrible way to approach a luxury bag, because in my experience, I rarely do make it work, but basically my phone doesn't really fit, and I always say that is my number one criteria. My phone has to fit the bag, and it does kind of fit, which was my loophole with this style. But as you can see, when you have it upright, you can see the phone over the top, and you can technically fit it in, but you really have to maneuver it and kind of wedge it in at an angle. And it's just not very seamless, and it kind of takes a little while to get the phone out of the bag as a result of that. And I look at my phone constantly like most people do, and I'm trying to get it out right now, and it is just a little bit tricky. So because it is quite finicky, I just always know that whenever I'm on a date night or wherever it is, I will usually reach for another style instead of this one, because it is so small, unless I know I'm going to be comfortable just carrying my phone in my hand. Especially now, you know, I never usually take this kind of bag out when I'm with Leo, and if I'm out without Leo, I'm constantly checking my phone just to make sure that everything's okay with him. So phone is in my hand even more these days, and it is a huge deal breaker for me that it doesn't fit in neatly. So I would say keep that in mind with this bag. If that doesn't bother you, or if you happen to have a much smaller phone than me, then I think this style is wonderful and so beautiful. But all of my love for it pretty much does come from the design and the overall look. I have debated going for the next size up, but it's not quite the same look. They have changed the design a little bit. I don't feel like it's quite as structured, and so I'm not sure I love it enough to do that. I'm still 50-50. So if you have the next size up, please let me know how you like it down below in the comment section. I have spent a long time thinking about this bag, but yeah, I'm definitely a little bit 50-50 on it. Absolutely gorgeous design, really, really well made, but just a little bit small and very annoying because of that. So as you can see, my phone is peeking out right at the top there. You can fit it in lengthways, but I have to undo the sides in order to be able to do that. So if you wanted to have this completely done up and retain its shape, then you will have to have your phone peeking out a little bit. So I can kind of fit my phone inside. And then I do also have my keys. I can fit in my lipstick as well, and then I can also fit in a little card holder. Access isn't really that great, to be honest with you, so even though I can fit these items in, it's not super seamless. I couldn't fit in a compact wallet because it did peek out as well, so I just had to go for my card holder. If, however, you are happy to undo the sides, so as you can see here, I have undone the sides right there, then you can fit in quite a bit more. There's just so much more room and flexibility, as you can see. So I managed to fit in all the same items and then one more item. So I have my phone there, I have keys, I have lipstick, the compact wallet that I was not able to fit in before, and then I was also able to fit in that same card holder. So I managed to get in a whole extra wallet in there, so it does make a really big difference, as well, of course, as fitting in my phone comfortably. Now I have my last three styles, and to be honest with you, these could all be joined for last place. I don't really have a preference for one over the other, so whilst they are 8, 9, 10, for me, they might as well just all be last, because I kind of have little bugbears with all of them, which are all equal in annoyance to me. So the first one, my Saint Laurent Lou camera bag. I had bought and sold this bag before, mainly based on capacity, but my life has changed quite a bit since then, so I thought I'd give this bag another go, especially considering how much I love the color combination, and I do think it's beautiful. It's a dusky pink with gold hardware. I just think it's such a dreamy looking bag. I do like the dual hardware and leather strap on the chain. I think that's great, but my biggest bugbear is that the zipper is surprisingly sticky and just not super smooth, which, considering it's a Saint Laurent style and I usually have pretty good luck with Saint Laurent quality, has really surprised me. And it doesn't always happen, but it does happen more often than not that I do kind of have to wiggle the bag and just kind of jiggle it to get it closed, which, you know, just shouldn't happen with a bag that is this expensive. So that has definitely left me a little bit disappointed. I do think I could have been unlucky with this style though, because I have had other people tell me that they have this exact bag in this color and they haven't had that issue. So it could well just be my bag, but even so, I just feel like quality control should really be there for this kind of style. So it's a little bit too small for me, and the zipper really has just kind of ruined my enjoyment of this bag. So yeah, not a huge fan of it. Definitely not one that I reach for a lot because of those issues, and just, yeah, a little bit of a dud purchase for me, and definitely one of my least favorite mini bags at the moment. So I have my lipstick in here, I have compact wallet, I have my keys and my phone. The sunglasses that I have were just a tiny bit too big to fit in comfortably. I did try, but I basically would have had to sacrifice my keys, which are obviously pretty important. If you had a smaller phone, a smaller wallet, then you might be able to squeeze sunglasses in here as well. But for me, this is all I could comfortably fit in. Next up is my Strathberry East-West bag. I've kind of spoken about this bag before, and on the one hand, I think it is crazy beautiful. Like, this ombre is just like blow your mind gorgeous, and I also think the overall design of the bag is stunning and so unusual in a sea of bags, which, you know, there's not too much creativity you can have with a flat bag or a mini bag now. Like, generally speaking, they have the same components, whereas I actually think they've done an amazing job with the design of it to make it really unique and stunning. But my bugbear is the capacity. Like, it's so small, and, you know, if they hadn't put the divider in, it still would have been a very small bag, but because they put the divider in, it makes it even smaller. And it's just so tiny, and I said this I think in the video I did with Dan, but I feel like they so easily could have made this a lot more functional than they did. But for some reason they just decided to put the chains right there in the middle as opposed to the side, or even just having them looped to the top flap, and it just kind of ruined the bag for me. So even though I do like the look of it, often I will just reach for a bag which I know has much more capacity. It is quite a rigid style as well, so it's not as if you do have a lot of flexibility in terms of the leather expanding. And yeah, this just is beautiful, but I do think that's a pretty major issue for me. And you know, on the one hand, these are mini bags, so maybe you can expect not to fit too much in. But when I do have other mini bag styles which can just pack more of a punch when it comes to capacity, those are always the ones I reach for versus something like this. The Strathberry Mini can only fit in 4 items, even though it's not the smallest bag in terms of volume. You are limited by the divider. So as you can see, I filled it completely to the top. So I have my lipstick in here, my keys, phone, and then I fit in my compact wallet, but really that's as much as you'd be able to go. That little divider there really does make a big difference. So yeah, it's just the 4 items. And then finally I do have my Saint Laurent Jamie bag, and I'd say this is definitely worthy of the last spot for me. I was super excited about it because I thought it was a fantastic alternative to my Chanel Mini, but I have a couple of issues with it. Namely, I do have a little tear right there at the rivet, which appeared I think after my first or second time using it, which is not great quality from Saint Laurent. Like, I would definitely expect that not to be happening at all. And then for a fabric bag, which I don't have an issue with, I know some people are like leather only, but I'm not of that opinion. Like, I like fabric bags, but oh my goodness, this collects all the hair, all the fluff, and all of the dust. And I don't know what it is about certain fabric bags versus others, because I do have my boucle bag also from Saint Laurent, which really doesn't have the same issue at all, and it obviously lives in the same house. But for some reason, this might as well be like a Dyson. Like, it really just attracts all of the things, and I just spend my life lint rollering this bag. Like, it is so bad. I still see like little bits of hair on it now, and it's just crazy. So those 2 things combined mean that this I just don't feel like was a successful purchase. Again, I like fabric bags in general, but this one really hasn't been it for me. The capacity is fine. It's very similar to the Chanel Mini in many ways, which I do love generally as a mini bag, but yeah, this really hasn't been it for me. So I would definitely proceed with caution with this bag, especially if you have pets or long hair, and even if you put that to the side, the kind of tear issue is very concerning. So not one of my more successful purchases, and yeah, not really a huge fan of this one. As you can see, I filled it pretty full. There's a tiny bit of space there, so if you wanted to put an extra makeup product, you probably could. You can't fit in sunglasses though, I did try. So in here I just have my keys, compact wallet, my phone, and then also a lipstick. That's it, just the 4 items that can fit inside, but you could potentially fit 1 more item in, especially if you did swap the wallet out for a card holder. So that is my top 10 ranking of mini bags for 2023. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my order in the comment section below, especially if you own any of these bags yourself. If you have any questions for me, then leave me a comment. I will link up everything I can in the description section as well, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.